What's up, guys? Xavier back again with another video, and I apologize. I was supposed to be doing this rant yesterday, but I really didn't have time to do it. But today is Throwback Thursday, so I might as well do this on this Throwback Thursday. Today's rant, I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite matches from the Attitude Era. Now, like I said in my last rant about the Attitude Era, that I was planning to do a top 10 or a top 5 of my favorite Attitude Era matches. Well, I made a promise that I was going to do it, and here I am doing it. So, I hope you guys are ready to reminisce the good old days of these matches that I'm about to talk about. And here we go. My top 10 favorite matches from the WWF Attitude Era. Number 10, D-Generation X versus the Dudley Boyz in a handicap table dumpster match at the 2000 King of the Ring. The stipulation of this match was the Dudley Boyz has to put all 3 members of DX, including Tori, through tables. Or D-Generation X has to put both the Dudleys, not just Bubba Ray or Devon, but both Bubba Ray and Devon into the dumpster. This was actually one hell of a match. The Dudley Boyz was this close to winning the match after they put both Road Dogg and X-Pac through tables. Tori was trying to run from the Dudleys because she was the only one that was left to be slammed through a table. So she decided to hide in the dumpster, and then the Dudleys decided to find her in the dumpster until Road Dogg and X-Pac hit both Devon and Bubba Ray with steel chairs, slamming both the sides and the top lids of the dumpster, and DX won the match. But after the match was over, Devon and Bubba Ray 3D both Road Dogg and X-Pac, and Bubba Ray finally put Tori through a table. I was hoping that they would put Tori through a table, and I'm glad they did. But that was a great match, though. DX versus Dudley Boyz in the handicap table dumpster match at the 2000 King of the Ring. Number 9, The Undertaker versus Kane at WrestleMania 14. I could have put this match in my top 5, or my top 3, or my top 2. Because I was kind of rushing this list that I should put the Royal Rumble 2002 as number 9, but I decided to put The Undertaker and Kane at WrestleMania 14 as number 9. We all know who won that match. The Undertaker did, after giving 3 tombstone pile drivers to Kane, and he eventually won the match. And thank God, Paul Bearer, rest in peace, he was standing at ringside, and thank God he didn't stick his nose into the Undertaker's business. But it was a great match, though. I wanted the Undertaker to win, and I'm glad he won. And that's when his undefeated streak was still going on, until Brock Lesnar broke it at WrestleMania 30, which is still shocking to this day that Brock Lesnar broke the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. But this has to be my favorite WrestleMania match of The Undertaker versus his brother Kane at WrestleMania 14. Number 8, my boy, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Mind you, WrestleMania 18 was the last WrestleMania pay-per-view during the Attitude Era, 2 months before WWF became WWE. This was definitely one hell of a match. Icon versus icon. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. Most of the fans were probably cheering for Hulk Hogan. They actually wanted Hulk Hogan to win, but thank God The Rock won that match. He gave Hulk Hogan 3 rock bottoms and hit him with the people's elbow. And after the match was over, The Rock and Hulk Hogan shook hands and they became allies. And then here comes Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They got mad and beat up on Hulk Hogan because he didn't win the match. And The Rock came to help Hulk Hogan beat up Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And that was a great match, though. I had to put that in my list, The Rock and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. I'm so glad that The Rock won. Like I said, he's my favorite wrestler of the Attitude Era. And the second being Stone Cold Steve Austin. Lucky number 7. I definitely had to put a women's match on this list. Trish Stratus versus Stacy Keibler in a bra and panties match for the World Wrestling Federation Women's Championship. Do I really have to explain who really won that match? We all know my girl Trish Stratus beat Stacy Keibler in that bra and panties match and retained her World Wrestling Federation Women's Championship. We all know that Stacy Keibler cannot kick Trish Stratus' ass in a singles match. Because Trish Stratus is the best WWE diva of all time. That's why she's a 7-time women's champion. As well as Charlotte. And I'm still going to be pissed if Charlotte breaks Trish Stratus' record of becoming an 8-time women's champion. But I definitely like that match. I believe this was on an episode of Monday Night Raw during the Attitude Era. And we all know how Jerry the King Lawler is when the women be wrestling in the ring. He always be saying, puppies! And it's sad they don't let him do that shit today in today's era of WWE. And I definitely missed the bra and panties match. I'm sad they don't have that in today's era of WWE. Number 6. Vince McMahon versus Shane McMahon in a street fight on the November 5th, 2001 episode of Monday Night Raw. This reminded me of the street fight between Vince McMahon and Shane O'Mac at WrestleMania 17. So this was probably a rematch from WrestleMania 17. The match was going great. And mind you, one of the members of WWF was going to be defecting to the Alliance during that match. Just when Vince McMahon was about to pin Shane McMahon, Test and Booker T stuck their noses into Vince McMahon's business. Thank God the Undertaker and Kane came out and helped Vince McMahon. Kane and Test gave each other the big boot at the same time while Undertaker gave Booker T the last ride. And then William Regal comes out of nowhere and low blows the Undertaker and slams him down. Then my boy The Rock laid a smackdown on William Regal and hit him with the Rock Bottom. Then Stone Cold hit The Rock with the Stone Cold Stunner. And Kurt Angle comes out with a steel chair about to hit Stone Cold, but instead he hits Chris Jericho, The Rock, Kane, and The Undertaker. Kurt Angle was the one that defected from the WWF to the Alliance. Then Stone Cold hit Vince McMahon with the Stone Cold Stunner, and Shane McMahon got the pin and won that street fight. That was messed up that Kurt Angle defected from the WWF to the Alliance. And he stayed with the Alliance until he defects from the Alliance to the WWF at Survivor Series. We're going to get to that if I have it on this list. Number 5. Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, and the Game Triple H versus Kane, The Undertaker, and The Rock for the World Wrestling Federation Championship in a 6-man tag team match at the 2000 King of the Ring. Yeah, I definitely had to put this in my top 5 because I used to watch that match over and over again when I used to have a videotape of the 2000 King of the Ring. The stipulation was if Vince McMahon or Shane O'Mac gets pinned or submitted, Triple H loses the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And the match was definitely going great until Kane turns on his brother, The Undertaker, and The Rock. And The Undertaker turning on Kane. And Vince McMahon try to do the people's elbow like he did on the SmackDown before King of the Ring. But Vince McMahon got caught with the rock bottom, and then 1, 2, 3, The Rock became a 5-time WWF champion. I wanted The Rock to win, and I'm glad he won that match. I definitely had to put that match in my top 5 matches of the Attitude Era. Number 4, the Raw General Manager Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the World Wrestling Federation Championship at the 2001 Unforgiven. This was actually a rematch from SummerSlam. And you guys should know how the match ended. Just when Stone Cold was about to give Kurt Angle the Stone Cold Stunner, Kurt Angle grabbed his ankle, and you should have heard Stone Cold. He said, "Oh shit," because he knew that Kurt Angle was going to counter from the Stone Cold Stunner right into the ankle lock. And I'm surprised that they did not bleep out shit when Stone Cold said that. The Attitude Era wasn't scripted as much as today's era of WWE. So Kurt Angle got Stone Cold into the ankle lock. Stone Cold's hand was on the bottom rope on the apron while he was tapping out, and Kurt Angle became the new WWF champion. And mind you, Unforgiven was in Kurt Angle's hometown, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All his family members were sitting in the front row congratulating their brother and their uncle for winning the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And also, Kurt Angle's late mother, Jackie, was sitting in the front row to watch her son win another championship. And I know Kurt Angle's father was looking down, saying that, "My God, my boy won another championship." Not only Kurt Angle was congratulated by family members, but the superstars of the WWF, such as The Rock, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, Kane, Big Show, Funaki, Bradshaw, or JBL, and many more superstars of the WWF. I'm glad Kurt Angle won that match. He definitely deserved it. He won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels for the World Wrestling Federation Championship at WrestleMania 14. Oh, WrestleMania 14 came out 20 years ago on March 29th. I should have did a rant talking about WrestleMania 14 being 20 years old. I was going to put Stone Cold versus Scott Hall at WrestleMania 18 on this list, but I decided to put Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. And mind you, Iron Mike Tyson was the special enforcer. I believe that Mike Tyson turned on Shawn Michaels and joined Stone Cold's side. And Stone Cold hit Shawn Michaels with the Stone Cold Stunner. And then 1, 2, 3, Stone Cold becomes the new World Wrestling Federation champion in his first World Wrestling Federation championship reign. And then the next night on Monday Night Raw, Vince McMahon announced that Stone Cold was the new World Wrestling Federation champion. I'm so glad Stone Cold won that match. I thought he was going to lose that match, but thank God he won, thanks to Iron Mike Tyson. Number 2, Team Alliance versus Team WWF at the 2001 Survivor Series. I definitely have to put that on my list because I used to watch that match over and over again when I used to have a videotape of the 2001 Survivor Series. So Team Alliance was Shane O'Mac, Booker T, Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Team WWF, the world's largest athlete, The Big Show, Chris Jericho, Kane, The Undertaker, and The Rock. Shane O'Mac eliminates The Big Show. Chris Jericho eliminates Shane O'Mac. Rob Van Dam eliminates Kane. Kurt Angle eliminates Undertaker after being hit by the Stone Cold Stunner. The Rock eliminates Booker T. Chris Jericho eliminates RVD. The Rock eliminates Kurt Angle. Stone Cold eliminates Chris Jericho. And the last two were The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, my two favorite wrestlers from the Attitude Era, the biggest rival of the World Wrestling Entertainment. And like I said in my Attitude Era rant, The match ended when Kurt Angle was trying to prevent himself from losing his job as a member of the Alliance. He turns on the Alliance and rejoins the WWF, hitting Stone Cold with the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt to have The Rock hit Stone Cold with the rock bottom. And then 1, 2, 3, boom, the Alliance went out of business. Or as JR would say, JR said, the WWF lives, the Alliance dies at the Survivor Series. I'm so glad The Rock won for Team WWF. And the company is still in business 16 years later. Man, that was a hell of a pay-per-view. I think I should do a rant celebrating 17 years of the 2001 Survivor Series on November 18th, as well as celebrating 20 years of the Powerpuff Girls. Before I go on to number 1, and thank God this video is getting past 15 minutes, I want to talk about some of the matches that I'm going to put as honorable mentions. Then I'm going to do another video talking about my honorable mentions of my top 10 favorite Attitude Era matches. Rock and Mankind in an empty arena match, the 2002 Royal Rumble, the 2000 Royal Rumble, Rikishi versus Val Venis for the Intercontinental Championship at 2000 Fully Loaded, Triple H versus Chris Jericho in the Last Man Standing match, and I think a match between Stone Cold and Triple H in one of the pay-per-views. But yeah, that's some of the matches that I'm going to talk about in my honorable mentions of my top 10 Attitude Era matches. All right, now we get to number 1. And I'm not going to read in my notepad what is number 1 of my top 10 Attitude Era matches, because I have a shirt that I think you see me wore in my rant about me watching WrestleMania 34 with my boys. Number 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock for the World Wrestling Federation Championship in a no disqualification match at WrestleMania 17. What can I say about this match? This has to be the best WrestleMania ever. And mind you, it was in my hometown, Houston, Texas. I didn't really go to the show, but my friend T Money, who you watch at on Surge Dragon's Heaven's Monsters podcast, told me when we was watching WrestleMania 34 at Surge Dragon's house, he went to the Astrodome for WrestleMania 17. The match was going great until Vince McMahon stuck his nose into The Rock's business and he sided with Stone Cold. And Stone Cold kept hitting The Rock with the steel chair until The Rock couldn't move, having Stone Cold turn heel. And then 1, 2, 3, Stone Cold becomes the new World Wrestling Federation champion. But yeah, that was a great match. There's no doubt about it. I definitely had to put this as number 1 because it's my favorite match of the Attitude Era. WrestleMania 17, Stone Cold versus The Rock for the World Wrestling Federation Championship in a no DQ match. They're my favorite wrestlers of the Attitude Era, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was definitely one hell of a match. So, with that being said, I can't believe this video has passed 15 minutes. That wraps up my rant about my top 10 favorite Attitude Era matches. Let me show you guys real quick. Hopefully this video doesn't get cut off. Here you go. Take a good look. My top 10 favorite matches of the Attitude Era. So if you have a top 10 favorite matches of the Attitude Era, let me know in the comments below. And what do you think about my top 10 favorite matches of the Attitude Era? Like this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos, click on the notification bell if you want to see any video that I upload, and I will catch you tomorrow for part 4 of my rant about Beavis and Butthead, Daria, and Celebrity Deathmatch. Don't follow your dreams, chase them. Peace. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.